What's happening? Come on in here. I got a few things we need to talk about right now. Well, man, we're gonna pivot and get into something serious, Jelly. And man, I want to say, you know what I'm saying, I'm glad you're here. Hey, y'all, this is DJ Jelly. For those that don't know, he's a legend here in Atlanta. Legendary DJ, started with Camp. Shout out to the whole Camp. Presently at V103, you know what I'm saying, the big station here in Atlanta. And he's going to be doing a podcast with me, coming in, dropping game to y'all about different programs, the state of hip hop, how you can, you know, register your music at times, streaming, things that, you know, that a lot of you artists that are trying to jump in the game and not get burnt in the game. This is the guy that you want to, you know what I'm saying, tune in with, to hear his advice on a lot of different stuff. Jelly, I want to jump straight into the state of hip hop. Behi and I have talked about this a few different times, and this was my stance. I said that this is how I feel. I feel like that the state of hip hop is, you know what I'm saying, is on life support. As we knew it. Okay. Now, I say that to say because everything does evolve over time. With what's going on in the industry today, with a lot of stuff, I know you're aware what Cat Williams had, came out and said, and a lot of that stuff is manifesting itself. What he said a while back on Club Shay Shay is coming true. And I'm starting to, what came in my mind, Jelly, was I thought about the baseball steroid era. I thought about at the height of baseball, they hitting 70, 80 home runs, stealing 50 bases. You had, your Sammy Sosa, Mark Aguirre's, you know what I'm saying, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds. We all loved Barry. Yeah. And, once Pete. It all kind of, PRPP. And once it all, hit the fan, era of baseball, a whole era of baseball was wiped out because of the steroid era. And there was an asterisk beside the name. So I want to say that I don't know if Barry Bonds them have made the Hall of Fame. I don't think so. I think they've been keeping him out. I think they've been keeping out pretty much all of them. Yeah. And if they do talk about that era of baseball, they say it's an asterisk beside it. It's what's called the steroid era. If they do let him in, my question to you, Jelly, is I want to pivot it to rap. When we're talking about from the late 80s to all the 90s, are we throughout the 90s, are we in jeopardy and even through the 2000s, because a different problem arose in the 2000s. We had the death of rappers killing each other. Ours was more our problem was more of the gatekeepers kind of holding good talent back. We saw a lot of the stuff with Puffy, a lot of the stuff that was going on. Right. When I look at that case with Puffy, what sticks out to me, a lot of people, different things stick out in the case. What I always said, what hurt me so bad about the case is that what about the up and coming Whitney Houstons or Mariah Carey's or Pacs or Biggs that were not allowed to blow up, to manifest their true talent because they ran into a person that held something over their head or had stipulations. Hey, only way you're gonna make it in this right here is if you do this. And now that you're on my radar, I can blackball you. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can't go nowhere else because I'm gonna make sure nobody else messes with you. I just kind of want to know what you think the state of hip hop is. You know what I'm saying? Being a legend from here, being one of the biggest DJs that has ever come out of the city, and what do you think is going?
I mean, you always gonna have those eras. I mean, we gotta think about it now. Hip hop is now 50 plus years old, so now we come into an era where we got contemporary hip hop, which we don't really talk about. We're not developing it. That's where we need. I think for our era, we need to start really putting our energy into developing contemporary hip hop or whatever we call it.
Now, what's contemporary hip hop for those that don't
know? Like the OGs who still rapping. I mean, you got folks 45 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, still rapping.
Is there still a market for rappers that age though, Jill? That's something we got to come to grips with. You're at the radio station. Are 40 and 50-year-olds calling up to V and saying, I want to hear a 8 Ball and MJG record, Outkast record?
They are, but they're not, it's the thing about it is that the labels, the 1 or 2 labels that are around still control what is being played on the radio.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what's going on. So you still got people calling up, want to hear Here I Go, or want to hear some of that old Camp or whatever. So they still call, but they don't have the control over what those labels are dictating. That's the problem, and we got to start getting in positions to maneuver that and develop stuff for the older hip hop to have an outlet. That's what we're not doing.
Well, what you want? Let me tell you. Speaking from an old school artist and me dealing with a lot of old school artists, I'm glad I got you here because I speak on behalf of a lot of them. And this is the gripe that they have. And I'm not shooting it at you. I know that you're on our team. But the gripe that a lot of old school artists had is that no matter what type of music I make, the DJ Jellies, the Beehives, they're not going to play the record because they can't play the record. One, is that true? And if it's not true, then why aren't those records being played from these legendary groups? Why is it, why am I not hearing, Nas drops a new album, I see it on the charts, but I don't hear one record from it. Killer Mike drops an album that wins the Grammys.
Right.
I see the album, but I don't know a word off the album because I'm not hearing it on the radio consistently.
Right.
What is the disconnect right there? Why can't the old school artists that make good music now be heard from the big station and DJ Jellies and Beehives and you guys?
Well, I mean, in Atlanta, you're only gonna have maybe 1 or 2 DJs, in all honesty, that bridge the gap of the older and the younger, demographics, which isn't always necessary. But what's important is that now we got to look at all the old school artists, all the older school DJs that are still in the mix. We need to start having meetings and putting things together and getting investors to say, you know what, we got to have our own stations.
Right. And y'all do, Jelly. Y'all had the, Hot put out an OG 97 or something. And so I'm seeing where they're trying to do it. But here's the problem I have with all the old stations, Jelly.
Okay.
The old stations only play the old songs. So it's not an outlet. The old top songs. So you still correct.
Right. But we gotta get the right people involved in it. I mean, from the programming end to the revenue end, to the marketing end, who understands that. Like Atlanta should have its own station. It should be a ATL station here.
Right.
When you talk about hip hop. Yes. It needs to be just straight up Atlanta type station, meaning that they'll play Mr. Cool or they'll play some Ghetto Mafia.
Right.
And at the same time, they might play Jid or they might, play some other. But it's all Atlanta music itself. Because I remember when I first started, when I was on Hot back in the days, they like, Jelly, you go and do what you do in the streets. We want that on the radio. So I was on there playing all kind of stuff. I was still playing old Kilo from 90. This was with 90. Let me take it back. In 98, I was on the radio on Hot, and I had an hour show called A Traffic Jam. So I was still playing stuff from 90, 91, 89, but I was still combining with what was going on during that time. When you had the young jocks and all that popping off, but I was combining them. See, we got to get back to people who are involved, who understand the music and the culture. That's what we don't have. That's involved in these stations and the things we're trying to build.
So Jelly. So if we don't get back to that, by you even saying we need to get back to that, you answer my question for me. There is a problem in hip hop because you're right. Where do we go if we don't, because right now secular radio is not supporting old school artists. Now they will support their old school hit records. Meaning I can hear straight from the deck on one of these old school stations, but if I take them a new record, then they're like, who the hell is you?
They ain't gonna be studying it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, who is you? You know what I'm saying? So how do we get to the point there? Because I say this, Jelly, nigga, Master P's and the UGKs and the Outkast and stuff, they didn't stop knowing how to rap. They even better now.
Right.
But but when you don't hear artists, out of sight, out of mind, as a fan, you just assume, well, man, that artist don't got old, or they can't rap no more, or they can't, you know, or they lazy and they not doing anything. And people will come up to me right now and say, man, when you gonna drop something, man? You don't even drop nothing. I'm like, nigga, I just dropped 5 songs with 4 videos. You know what I'm saying? I got a song like right now with CeeLo, Jelly, all in the stuff, but they don't know about it. And now you play my records, but trying to get any, you know, radio station to play a record with me and CeeLo is like pulling teeth with them. They'll go play straight from the deck. But you won't play a new record with me and CeeLo Green. And say, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm pulling teeth with them. So that's something that has to be fixed.
We got to create, not to cut you off, but we got to really create unions, man. I'm just really looking at it. Even from a DJ point of view, you know, we're going to have to really organize now. We've been, you know, we done came into the rap game in the 90s and came up. It was all brand new. We was going all different directions. But now we got to say, you know what? We got to be able to have a legacy. We got to have legacies. We got to bring up generational situations so everybody can benefit, from the OGs to the young Gs. And Atlanta music, going back to what I was saying about Atlanta music and culture, we got to really create a union.
Wow.
Where we can dictate what we want on radio and get the types of people involved in what we're trying to, you know, present out here, and the platform for folks who still rapping, who've been in the game 30, 40 years, still rapping.
Right.
And, you know, we got to understand something too. It's even like R&B and rock and roll, even with hip hop now, because hip hop is 50 years. So you're going to have people that's going to be rapping in their 60s to their 70s.
Right.
The DJs are doing the same thing. That's where we at with music. You know, we be like, oh, that nigga need to be doing secular music. No, if he's a creative or she's a creative, then they still want to do it, and that's music. That's their expression.
Absolutely.
So you got to respect that. And then we got to, just like they didn't take hip hop serious in the early 90s and 80s, we got to say, look, people are grown as hell, making contemporary ass albums, the OG albums, and they still doing it to a high level.
Right.
So we got to create these unions to say, you know what? We got to have these boards where we say, okay, this person's still doing their thing. We need to create a station or stations that still facilitate these artists in music that's still doing it.
And that's either online or offline,
Offline.
Even if it's in the new format of stuff. So that's great, right there. I'm gonna leave that right there, Jelly Man. And I kind of want to get to you have a new program or something you want to talk about to the people real fast, man. Let's shoot that before we get into this TI.
I mean, you know, DJs are out there doing these radio mixes. First of all, shouts out to all my DJs, local and worldwide. There's a new studio software that just came out, DJ Studio, and it's wild, man. Because it got me thinking about AI, because you can throw these songs in the software, set up your own little playlist, and then the actual software will mix the mixes for you. I mean, it'll put them in the software and line up your music that you put. You create a list. You line up the music, and it'll actually have transitions or different ways you can mix these songs. So it's wild. It's convenient. Shouts out to DJ Dash turning me on to it. It's convenient. It can make your workflow go faster. Okay. And you know, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing because it's technology, but it's how you use it. Because you could be a person like me or DJ Monte or whoever who got to do all these mixes every week and turn them in, and then, you know, you'd be like, man, I just got this playlist this week, and then I got the next play, and they'll just throw it and mix it together. But you can go in there and tweak it. You can change it up, and you can export. And the DJs know what I'm talking about. You can export this DJ Studio software to other programs, you know, like Beatport, or you can go to Ableton to tighten it up more. So the DJs know what I'm talking about. This is a tool to help your workflow go faster.
Wow.
You need to make it, you know, you got to do that. When you in high demand, if you traveling on the road, if you got stuff you got to do for your radio stations or your internet show, this will cut your workflow down quick. And I'm getting ready to really get off into this, because you need to do that as a busy DJ.
Well, what I'm glad about, what I'm very, very excited about, Jelly, is you coming on every week and being able to give people, you know, drop those jewels to DJs and different people out there, because these are things that we need to be talking about. You know what I'm saying? Technology, AI. A lot of people don't understand AI. I don't understand it a lot. So when you say you can drop all these songs in and it's kind of doing it for you,
right?
I'm like, but when you just say, you know, people are kind of skeptical too. I am, but if I hear from you and you kind of break it down, you know what I'm saying, tell me the pros and cons of it, it makes it easier for me to kind of understand. And I think you did a great job with that.
And I'm going to backpedal and just to break it down more layman terms. Like if I'm a DJ, most DJs might have a program where they saying, okay, I'm going to play this this Ghetto Mafia song, and then I'm going to come up with this other song to mix with it. And they're thinking about it, and they're just actually going there and programming it. But if they say, okay, I'm gonna make this playlist like I do on my phone, like when y'all traveling, you got a playlist, all your favorite songs, you can just put that in the program, sit back and say mix it, and it's gonna show you several hundred billion gazillion ways to mix the songs together.
Really?
And give you the possibility. You be like, that's 5 mix, but I might need to go in and change this part though, and change.
Wow.
So it's just setting it up. It's just setting it where you don't have to, keep trying to figure it out. It just give you all this possibility. You can mix these 5 songs this way. You can mix these 5 songs that way. It might give you 10 different possibilities. So it cuts down the workflow, push you ahead, and then you can tweak it yourself to really add your own creativity. Because I don't want to just be there and throw in a song and go home and go somewhere and it's done and I send it off. No, I'm going to go and make sure it's the right thing I want, but it gives you the outline quicker.
Gotcha.
It's a new tool, man.
Y'all
DJ Studio.
Yeah, DJ Studio, y'all heard that, and that came straight from DJ Jelly. He's gonna be dropping. This is what you can expect on the Wicked Truth. Every week when Jelly come in here, he gonna drop jewels as well as talk about, the state of hip hop, what's going on, and and we doing this for the culture. Jelly and but moving right along, I want to talk to you about some news that came out last week with our brethren from the city. He goes by the name of, in the streets, as the King. Some might know him as Tip. Some might know him as T.I. Well, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you call him, it's all the same person. But Tip announced last week that he would be retiring from performing forever. Now,
I don't believe that.
And I don't either. I've heard artists say that, i.e. Pastor Troy, Jay-Z, what I'm saying? I heard plenty of artists say that. So I hope that it's not, it's not true. But if it is, Jelly, what type of loss will that be for the city? And will the city not miss it? What are your thoughts?
Clifford, they gonna miss him. You can always count on. Well, we talked off camera before this. They can count on Tip to pull up on one music fest or a birthday bash or a Winterfest B103, and we can count on that because that's kind of the home team thing.
Right.
But again, and I thought you were correct on this one, man. It leaves space open for other artists to bump their value up. Right. So I thought that was, that makes sense.
Yeah, I said that too, Jelly, and I'm gonna give Tip his flowers. Tip was, let me tell you, Hot would have a thing called the birthday bash. For a lot of y'all out there that don't know, that don't live here in Atlanta, it's their biggest show of the year. It's the birthday of, I guess, the radio station. And they have over 20, 30, 40,000 people at some of these events. And so what they got to doing at this birthday bash, they would so that the old school artists could also perform, because they wouldn't want to put the old school and the new artists together. So meaning if, let's say, hypothetically, Lil Baby was performing, you're trying to, his crowd is going to be a lot different than Ghetto Mafia's crowd. You understand what I'm saying? So what they would do was they would have us over at like the Tabernacle, all the old school artists. You might have the, Shawty Low, R.I.P. to him, Pastor Troy, just, throwing out the Outcasts, right. But Tip would come over to the old school show, do our show with all the OGs, tear that motherfucker up, jump right in, in the truck or whatever, limo, and then go over there and rock out with the young kids. See, he was one of the only ones that the few that could, that could go both ways. Yep. Another thing that was, that the reason why, I say he is the king when it comes to this music here is that we could always count on Tip as a headliner to make all of us artists, you know what I'm saying, that are trying to bounce back or doing our thing now, he would lend his celebrity to us. There were times where we would be doing maybe like the ATL Music Festival. You have all the regular legends. It's a circle of us, the Kilos, the Troys, it's a circle of us. But you know, they may not have a headline of 15 days out. Still searching for a headliner, and then just pop up. We just added the king to the thing. You know what I'm saying? He go ahead and drop his commercial, and all of a sudden now this bitch is sold the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And so these are things that I remember about Tip. Another thing I remember about Tip that if he does retire, it doesn't have to be lights, cameras, action. He'll pop up on Kendall Road at Chit Chats. He will pop up, back in the day at Central Station. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some are everywhere, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I think that that will be missed, the support that he would give to new artists. There were a lot of artists I feel like, and myself included, we as blacks, we don't really understand a person's value until they're gone.
Right.
There's a lot of people that took shots at Tip when his whole career he was coming up. Somebody asked me, somebody said, Galaxy Wick, you know what I'm saying? You started trap music, man. Do you feel slighted? Do you feel like you don't get, your credit, blah, blah, blah? The old Wick would say, hell yeah. But now the new Wick say, you know what? I don't even want that burden. See, a lot of stuff didn't come to me or certain artists because we weren't built to be able to carry that back in the day. See, this is my mindset when it comes to this certain type of stuff.
Now.
Yeah, I know now. Okay. And instead of me, back in the day, hating on somebody like Tip, now I embrace him because I know you're carrying a city on your back. You got a lot of people that are shooting at you. Every time I see Tip, he's trying to not only be a celebrity out here, but he's trying to be a father to his kids in the streets under the microscope. You understand what I'm saying? And that's hard. That's something I never had to do. Any mistakes I made with my son, nobody knew about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever I said was what it was. If I call you Jelly and say, I had to smack him out because he did, you know what I'm saying? That's the story that you got. But we saw Tip's life kind of play out with his family in the spotlight, and to me, he handled both of them graciously. I think he represented not only the city of Atlanta like a king. I think he represented the whole South. So that when I have no problem now when people say the king of the South is Tip, whether it's your favorite rapper or it's not. I can make an argument for multiple rappers being the king of the South. Lil Wayne is one of my kings of the South.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Scarface, definitely, absolutely. But my point I'm saying, he still doesn't take a back seat to nobody.
Right.
And I think that I know he will be missed if in fact this is his last time performing.
I mean, shoot, he got that settlement now. He ain't got to do too much performing. So, you
you ain't supposed to bring that up.
Hey.
So you didn't supposed to insinuate.
Hey, man.
We try to make it like Tip.
Shouts out to Tiny. I heard it the other day, but it was, hey, Candy, it was looking like, you going to show up for this next couple of shows? She was like, I'm going to try. Big shouts out to them, though.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jelly. Shit, if I just made me $7 million, I ain't jumping them down for nobody either. But on the other hand, I'd be remiss without saying this. It does, what you just said a minute ago, it does make everybody else. If I was, on the booking scale here in Atlanta, if I was the 10th booked artist, now I'm number 9. And from 10 to 9 is goddamn it's 2 bands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in some cases even more.
Yep.
Let's ask Goody Mob the difference between doing a show with or without CeeLo, the money part of it.
Right,
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Let's ask
That's
goddamn, you know, Hot Boys with or without, you
Wayne.
know what I'm saying, Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Just the
Juvenile.
tickets go exactly.
Yep.
So it's the same thing with me. If Tip ain't on the thing, then Ghetto Mafia, we get a little bit more. So at the same time, man, I think that it all the universe has a way of balancing everything, the checks and balances of the universe. And I just want to say to the king, man, job well done. If in fact it's your last one, that's the wicked truth.
That's right, Mr. Clifford. Hey, speaking of kings, shouts out to my brother Big Oom. We got the Bosque over there, the Big Oom Studio Kitchen. That's right.
Okay.
510 Fairburn Road, you know, Southwest Atlanta.
Now, what do y'all sell down there, Jelly? You ain't brought me nail plate. What?
I gotta bring you a plate. I mean, we ain't started the breakfast thing like that.
You know, Jelly came over here and told us about how
Hey,
good the food is. Hey, man, y'all gonna love it when you finally get your some.
Hey, the Big Oom Burger, I ain't had that yet, but man, it's just, you know, this is a whole nother setup, another adventure. You know, starting from a mixtape to making restaurants. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing, bro.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
But
and we got some alternative food over there too, not in the, like, you know.
give me a quick rundown of the menu. Give me a quick. You tell me everything.
Man,
can I get wings?
You get you wings. You get the Big Oom Burger. You can get you some Impossible Burgers. Some
the Impossible Burger, now, that's vegetarian.
It's you
Okay.
know, it's not
Okay.
not red meat.
You got anything green in there that I
We
can
got
digest?
salads. We
Okay.
got all that in there. We got the mushroom burger. You know, if you trying to switch it up, ain't trying to, you know, get all the stuff in your system like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just everything. Nice bar. Just the atmosphere is nice. So it's just like the Big Oom store on Cascade, but now we got food coming out.
Now,
of it.
what about desserts? Because you know, Don and Beehive, they
got
greedy.
the big conversation been about them apple turnover egg rolls. They've been for real. Everybody talk about. I ain't even had that yet because I'm trying to stay away from sugar. But my God,
For real?
So, yeah, it's for real, bro.
And give them the address one more time, Jelly.
510 Fairburn Road. Y'all gonna see that. Bosque, Bosk. That's right. Big Oom Studio Kitchen.
Is Big Oom in there cooking?
Nah, Oom ain't in there, kid. He can just come there
Can
smiling.
Oom cook? Oom look like he can throw that.
Go in. I'm talking about his baked beans with the meat in them. Ooh, boy, big boy, you got to make me a plate. Like, he for real with that.
For real.
I give him that one. He fired with that, bro.
Well, y'all heard what the man said, man. We gonna leave it right here, man. This is y'all get in the comments. This is our first show, man. Show some love to the legend DJ Jelly. Show love to the channel itself. Show love to Beehive, man, for, you know, we expanding here. You know what I'm saying? I could not have done this and will not be able to do this without the support of Beehive and you, Jelly. You know what I'm saying? You don't help me down for a long time with records and you know, advice. I can call you about publishing. I can call you when I have any type of question. So when I launched this show right here, I said there's nobody. The first person on my list, the first round draft pick is DJ Jelly. I had to come and get you. And I think the people are gonna enjoy, you know what I'm saying, enjoy you weekly coming on here. We're gonna try to get him on more than once a week. But for right now, we're gonna have him on Monday. What days can I expect you, Jelly?
Wednesday morning, though.
Wednesday morning.
I'm
you know that you talking to the people. Look right in the camera because they see you now.
I'm committed now. Wednesday mornings.
Wednesday morning, 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Wednesday morning. Y'all heard the man. We're going to leave it right here. That's the wicked truth because I said so.